We know everything. The biggest failing of the son of Adam is that he does not know his Lord. He doesn't know Allah. There is no failing of the human being bigger than this failing. Never learnt about Allah. Never understood who is Allah. What does Allah require me to do? The Lord of the heavens and the earth, who causes my eyes to blink, who allows my eyes to blink, your eyes to blink right now. And you can see me and I can see you and all of this. Allah, who is controlling the heavens and the earth, creates, causes to live, causes to die, causes to grow, causes to stop growth. Allah. He did not know Allah. He knew the names of all of these celebrities and Jay-Z and all of these people. And he followed the fads and he bought the branded clothing. You know, people kill each other for this stuff. They kill each other for this stuff. The story of Ben Kinsella, the boy in London, was stabbed to death for his cap. That's only one tiny, small, isolated example. This happens every single day, all over the place. Because we've ingrained in our hearts love for these things. I would love this because it has a name on it. So I know about all these names and I could tell you about all of these different movies. And I could tell you about all of these actors and stars. SubhanAllah. You might remember Scott Fitzgerald. If you ever studied The Great Gatsby when you were in school, he wrote another book in 1925 called Absolution. It's a small book. And it's quite interesting because it's a story of a priest. The priest has lost his faith in God. And he's in the confession box and a young child comes to confess his sins. But how could he confess his sins, as Catholics dare believe, when the priest has lost his own faith? And so the priest now begins to tell the boy about his own issues. And he says to the boy simply this: do you know, this is 1925, do you know there are lights today on earth as big as the stars? That is it. There are lights today on earth as big as the stars. And it was simply this, the changes in society, the Industrial Revolution, the growth of consumerism. People like Edward Bernays, how would you transform a people from buying things that they need to buying things that they want? If you can create a society generation of wants, I want this. Why? Because you think it will make you happy. And before it was never like that. It was only I would buy it because you know what? I need it. Not because I want it, because it will make me happy. Then you have the whole advertising industry. Billions and billions of dollars or pounds spent simply to make us want to buy things. So you're seeing all these neon lights and amazement. 1925, when they're all coming in. And Broadway in America, 42nd Street in New York, you're seeing all of this. And he's thinking, you know what? That's it. There is no God. God is inconsequential. What's the point of God? I mean, we have heaven on earth. We have heaven on earth. We have the light, you got the music, you got the sounds, you got the everything, the whole aura, everything is there. And he loses his faith. The boy ends up losing his faith. But look, in the Quran, I was thinking, Allah gives us the example of Ibrahim alayhi salam when he's teaching his people about Allah, Tawheed. And he sees the sun and he says, this must be my Lord. And the sun set, he says, it can't be my Lord. And when the darkness comes, he sees stars. What does he say? قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي, this is my Lord. فَلَمَّا أَفَلْ قَالَ لَا أُحِبُّ الْآفِلِينَ. But when the stars set, when they disappear, they vanish, he says, I cannot love the things that set, disappear, vanish. And that is, he saw a star. Today we have metaphorical stars. Stars in the making. Stars, celebrities. But look how similar it is in that they all vanish. No celebrity remains for too long. They have an expiry date. You can't remain loved and liked always, all the time. You can't keep that beautiful look forever. You can't maintain that image forever. They will replace you with another one, and then another one, and then another one. They vanish as quick as they arrive. But that is what people are chasing. They're chasing it because they think it's real. It's not. When the angels ask him, Man Nabiyyuk, who is your prophet? He can't reply because you know what? He doesn't know who his prophet is. We tend to believe and say, you know what? I love my prophet. I would die for my prophet. I would do this for the prophet. But then why don't we follow him? Why do we have these empty slogans? I would do this and I love the prophet and the prophet is the best. But you've got to admit, it comes to a point where you think, you know what, these are a lot of empty slogans sometimes. They don't actually mean that much. They're just hollow. Because if you loved your prophet, you would want to be like your prophet. You would want to do what your prophet told you to do. And so the man, he can't say Muhammad because he didn't really follow his prophet until the angels have to tell him Muhammad. What does the man say? سمعت الناس يقولون ذاك. I heard the people say that. I heard the people say Muhammad was a prophet. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The angels ask him, Fima kunt, what were you upon? The man replies, سمعت الناس يقولون قولا فقلت كما قالوا. I heard the people say something, so I just said the same. Ya hasra, what a loss for that person. I heard the people say something, I just went along with them. Ramadan comes, it's our fasting month. We all fast. Why? Because Allah commanded us to fast, not because everyone else is fasting. Oftentimes you find people, they fast. Why do they fast? Because everybody else is fasting. Because it's embarrassing if they don't fast. Because everybody else is fasting. Even the drug dealer is fasting. Truly, even the drug dealer is fasting. But when Allah commands you to pray, you won't pray because nobody else is praying. سمعت الناس يقولون قولا فقلت كما قالوا. I heard people say something, I just said the same. That is the apex of blind following. I just did whatever people did, I just did the same. I said what they said, I behaved the way that they behaved. That is what we're talking about, the bewildered herd. I mean, that is just sheep. Like cattle, you're just going along with the flow and then you're minimal. I mean, that's it. Now the Prophet of Allah, he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, يَتْبَعُ الْمَيِّتْ ثَلَاث. That when we all die, three things will follow us. أهله, his family, وَمَالُهُ, and his money, وَعَمَلُهُ, and his actions. فَيَرْجُ اثْنَانْ وَيَبْقَى وَاحِدٌ. Two of them go back, they will go back, and one will remain. His money and his money and his family will go back, and only his actions will remain. Imagine you're going on holiday. Alright, you're going on a holiday. And you have, your best buddies with you, on that, and you're driving along, and you see somebody by the side of the road, and so you stop, and that somebody says, look, I am your money. Do you want to take me along with you? And they say, yeah, that's a good idea. If this is our money, then we should bring him on board with us. And so they go along with him. As they're going, they come across another man. And they stop. And that man says, you know what? I am happiness. I'm your happiness. Can I come along with you? And they say it makes perfect sense because this is a holiday. I mean, a holiday, what do you need? You need money and you got to enjoy yourself. You need happiness. We're going to bring him on board with us. And as they're driving along, they see a man in the middle of the road. And so they have to abruptly stop their car. And that man says, I am death. What have you brought with you? The only thing I forgot to mention, in fact, they come across another one who was religion. And he asked, can I come along with you on your journey? And they said, well, look, this is a holiday. There isn't any time for religion now. We're supposed to enjoy ourselves. Come on, you need the money, the happiness. You don't want religion coming in the way of things. I would have to stop, and I would have to pray and all these things. But then right there in the middle is death. And the question is, what have you brought with you? And you might have your money, you might have your happiness, but you don't have the things that matter. You don't have any actions. And so the Prophet of Allah drew a line in the sand. And he says, this is man. This line here represents man. He drew several other lines coming out of this line. He said, these are his hopes. You have hopes. We hope to graduate. You hope to have a job. You hope to get married, have kids. You hope to do many, many things. And then the Prophet drew another line and says, this is death. And death will come before these other things are established and accomplished. You will not achieve everything you want to achieve in your life. The good thereof and the bad thereof. Because death comes right in the middle and interrupts the many things that we think that we would establish and achieve in our lives. The emphasis, my dear brothers, is on preparing. If this hadith on the authority of Abu Dharr al-Ghifari was that the wisest people are those who prepare for death and who speak about death the most, and we need to know, how do we prepare for death? The first step should be forgiveness. We would ask Allah to forgive us for the many, many wrong things, shortcomings, wayward things that we've done in our lives, and we would want to start afresh. من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياة طيبة. Allah says in the Quran that the one who takes that path, he has a new life. Allah gives him a new life, like a rebirth almost. Metaphorically, it's a new life. If he does good actions and he believes, whether he's male or female, Allah brings him forth into a new life. And that is a life of purity. That is a life of real happiness. And that is a life that we ask Allah for. And to begin to take things seriously in your life. To realize all these things created around you are being created by a people largely do not acknowledge and believe in Allah, don't believe in His Prophet. And they have a completely different mindset, a worldview that's different to ours. For them it's about happiness is for today. You're going to die, nothing's going to happen. So therefore just gratify yourself. Take of it as much as you want. We don't believe that. And they're wrong in their worldview. Our belief is no, every single thing you do in this life will be taken into account. Every single thing you do, every prayer you miss, is like it's like the whole earth. It's like you've lost everything unless you go back. Unless you go back. Ma madha fata. Whatever has yesterday is gone. You can't do anything except ask Allah to forgive you and do good deeds in the hope that it will just fix up the bad. And tomorrow is ghaib. Tomorrow is the unseen. So you have the hour now to do the best that you possibly can. Have great aspirations. Young people in your life, think in your mind, I want to be the best person I could possibly be. The best servant of Allah. The most truthful person. I want to be the most respectful individual. I want to have the best Muslim character. I want to pray the best way. I want to have the best heart. The most empathetic person. The most giving individual. I want to have the best qualities. All of these things are things that last. Images do not last. Facade, but it's along the track of the ideals where you will find greatness. And so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us people, who would prepare for our very end. May Allah make us a people who are